Adventure 2. Now I know just saying that word has already gotten some of you riled up already. Sonic Adventure 2 is really one of those games that can be put in the Hall of Fame of gaming. It's also one of those games that the Sonic fandom has collectively agreed is one of the best Sonic games out there. It's up there with games like Unleashed, Generations, and whatever else Sonic fans like. The former only gaining the respect and recognition it deserves, but you know, I've just been an Unleashed meat rider since the day I was born. But where am I going with this? You see, I haven't actually played Sonic Adventure 2 that much. You see, I never exactly grew up with Sonic Adventure 2, unlike a few other people I know. So the other day, I was just sitting around thinking about, you know, new video ideas because, God, I haven't uploaded in like a month or two. I kind of forget how long it's been since I last uploaded because my upload schedule is absolute doo-doo water. While I was doing that, I decided I was gonna load up a little bit of SA2 and have a little fun. Boy, was I about to be surprised because apparently all my save was gone. So after sitting in a corner and crying for a few hours, I thought this would be a golden opportunity to make a review with a fresh playthrough of the game. Plus, how many other people do you know are making Sonic Adventure 2 reviews in 2026? Come on, let's be so for real. Plus, I searched YouTube and I did not find any. So anyway, let's get this review started. So, as you load up the game, you get the option of whether or not you want to play the hero or the dark story, and personally, I always play the hero first, which I don't know why you wouldn't unless you're a dumbass. So as we get into the hero story, we start and we find out that Sonic has been arrested by the military. Now why did they arrest him, you may ask? Well, I'm about to tell you. He has been arrested by Gun, who believe he is responsible for the recent terroristic crime that they believe to be committed by someone who is matching his description. Personally, I think they're just kind of racist. Because there's one big thing that's always bothered me about Sonic Adventure 2's story is how do these two look anything the fuck alike? I mean, it's almost like one of them is red and black and the other's blue. I don't get it. But getting back to the story, we see Sonic start to escape Gun custody and decide to rip a piece of the chopper off and skydive with it. Oh yeah, you heard me right, he ripped a piece of the chopper off. But being real for just 1 sec, how in the Sam hell fuck do you do that? No, I want a detailed explanation. How did this little shit rip an entire piece of the chopper off? I know if I was one of them gun soldiers back there, I would be pissing, shitting, and crying and praying to whatever god I believe in as I see this 5-foot hedgehog rip out of handcuffs, tear a piece of the plane off, and then skydive with it. Yeah, I think I'd be scared. But now we get into the gameplay, dropping into our first level, City Escape. But it's really a banger of a first level. But one thing to remember about SA2 is there is at least 5 levels to each stage. Usually it's gonna start from clear the goal to 100 rings to find the Chao to get to the goal in a certain time to beating hard mode or beating your wife and kids. Now, as we have finished the level, we get hit with our first boss, Bigfoot. And tell me, why do you think his name is Bigfoot? I can tell you why, it's because of his personality. Now, while this is happening, Shadow decides to make his fancy little appearance with his Hot Topic looking ass. Oh, you do not know who this is? This is Shadow the Hedgehog. You're gonna get to know him very well. Plus, I don't know why you'd be clicking on this video if you didn't know who he was. But Sonic, not liking the fact that he's getting blamed for all the YN activity that Shadow's been up to, decides to confront him. He calls him a fake hedgehog and says his Jordans are also fake. Now, Shadow, not taking too kindly to that, decides that he's gonna make an example out of Sonic, absolutely speed blitzing him the first time they meet. And I just know that move left Sonic's asshole quaking just a little bit more than usual. Now, after Sonic has just been blinded by Shadow's big gorilla dick energy, the military finally catches up with his little bitch ass. This leads us now to find Rouge and Knuckles in the desert, arguing over the Master Emerald. And holy man, they sure did downgrade Rouge's assets. All I can say is half of you people in the comments could never handle her, and I can. I'm the only one. Yes, it is a fact. I can handle her. Yes, I can. I can definitely do that. Also, while the two are in the middle of bickering like a lovely couple, Eggman decides he's gonna come scoop up that emerald for himself. And Knuckles doesn't like the idea of sharing his oversized butt plug with anybody. So as a way to stop Rouge or Eggman from stealing his emerald, he decides to shatter it into pieces. And Rouge doesn't like that idea very much, and decides that she's gonna retaliate with violence. By the way, I wish Rouge would choke me like that. Please, mommy, please. So after Knuckles gets assaulted by Rouge, God, I wish that was me, we begin the treasure hunting stages. The treasure hunting stages are pretty fun, if not a bit linear. I wish they could be like the sections from SA1, but hey, what can you do about that? So we finally collect all the emerald pieces, which then leads us to Tails' little trip to Prison Island. And I know I can make an Epstein joke, but that's a little too obvious right now. So after landing on Epstein's Island, now during this little expedition, Tails finds none other than Amy Rose, the sweet, pink, lovable hedgehog, who is currently about to get her shit rocked by Eggman. But Tails, wanting to play Captain Save-A-Ho, decides he's not gonna let that happen. After that little scuffle between the two, Eggman runs off. Tails then asks Amy what she's even doing here in the first place, and she rebuttals that she is also here to save Sonic because, you know, she's so in lovey-dovey-dove with him. Now Tails, being absolutely done with her shit, decides that he's gonna continue on to Prison Lane. Now Prison Lane isn't exactly too difficult of a level, especially for the first level for Tails. After we do that, we make it to free Sonic. Well, Amy does, I guess. Tails just cleared the way so that way Amy can make it there safe and sound. And after some light harassment, racial stereotyping, and a little bit of flirting, Amy frees him. As Amy decides to enter Sonic's cell, she asks him about what all the weird drawings are on the wall and if he drew them. But she didn't get an answer because Sonic has already left. This then begins Sonic's escape from Prison Island, which leads Sonic to hitch a ride on a rocket to get the hell out of there, which in my opinion is a pretty cool looking escape. So after escaping the prison complex, he makes it into Green Forest. As he enters the Forest of Green, he finds none other than his good friend Shadow, where they have a friendly discussion and they decide that they're gonna hug it out like good friends because they're reasonable and understanding. If you thought that was real, I lied. It's not. Don't hug, nor do they kiss, and I'm a little disappointed by that. Though after they fight, Shadow starts panting a little too extra hard, and I know some of you furries like that. Eggman radios in to tell Shadow to get the hell out of there as the island's set to blow up in the next 8 minutes. Sonic, with the most wide-eyed expression, decides that he's gotta get out of there too. Woo! But first he has to find Amy and Tails. Leads Sonic to have to book it fast so that way he can find Amy, Tails, and get out of there alive. And I gotta say, I think Green Forest is probably one of my favorite levels in this game, at least for the hero campaign, right up there with Pumpkin Hill. After we get off the island that's exploding, we cut to Eggman, who has a special announcement for the world, and I wonder what it could be. Let's take a quick little listen.
My name is Dr. Eggman, the world's greatest scientist, and soon to be the world's greatest ruler. Now witness the beginning of the greatest empire of all time.
God motherfucking damn, he blew up the moon. That's a little extreme. Yeah, that's just a warning shot. He pretty much holds the Earth hostage for the next 24 hours. Because within the next 24 hours, Eggman's gonna reduce the world to a parking lot. Now, Amy, Sonic, and Tails sit there and watch as Eggman tears the moon a brand new asshole. God only knows the effect it will have on the Earth with the moon missing a big ass chunk from it. One thing I can't understand is how the hell are these three still the enemies? Gun needs to get their shit in order. So while the pair are sitting there watching the absolute destruction of Earth, they state, as if it wasn't obvious enough, that they need to find Eggman and put a stop to this. Tails mentions that the Chaos Emeralds are conductive. They're like magnets to each other. If one's on the Earth, the other one can find it. But being the fact that he can't find shit with the emeralds, it leads him to believe that the emeralds are off planet, which means most likely Eggman is somewhere in space. Where exactly in space? Who the fuck knows? But their time for planning has been cut short as the military has found them and they need to book it to get the hell out of there. This leads us to Knuckles' an aquatic mine. So I forgot to mention this, while Sonic was in prison, he was getting touched. Also, Knuckles was in Pumpkin Hill at the time, but I forgot to cover that. So then this leads us to Mission Street, which is Tails' level where he runs from the police. Gotta say, I respect the fuck the police attitude. And Tails also goes through Mission Street just fucking everything up in sight. Nobody is safe from Tails' wrath. Or at least I did in my playthrough. So after Tails gets hunted down by the lynch mob, we rejoin Knuckles in the aquatic mine. I feel I need to mention this. There's a very important upgrade you want to get for Knuckles here, because if you don't, it's gonna make the following levels pretty much like hell. Now after collecting all the Pistone shards, we catch up with Amy and Tails. Tails and Sonic are discussing where the other 6 Chaos Emeralds are, and since they can't find them on Earth, they're led to believe that Eggman might have them already. Now, while they're discussing what they're gonna do, Tails mentions that the president should be receiving a transmitted message from Eggman, and he believes that if they can find that transmission, then they can find out where Eggman is transmitting from and find his location. Basically, they're gonna dox him. Now while that's all happening, Knuckles decides to come out of that sewer grate, and I know he smells like poopy ass caca shit. So Tails then begins his pursuit of the president's vehicle, and after the pair finally track down the fucking president, they hop in his vehicle and jack him for all his shit. And before the president even knows what happens, he just got jacked by 2 YNs. Can't have shit nice in Philly, can we? So they find out that the message is transmitting aboard the Ark, and after this they find one of Eggman's bases that can lead them to the Ark. They decide that they're gonna hitch a ride on one of his rockets and go up to that bitch. First, Tails decides he's gonna go in there and place his big old gorilla nuts on the front door and assert his dominance. After that, we get to Sonic, who has to make a mad dash inside the pyramid. But after making it to the final door, the crew realize that there are 3 keys that are needed to get inside. Now Sonic begins to look at Knuckles and decides to racial stereotype him, saying shit like, "Your people are good at this, come on Knuckles, lock the fuck in." After Knuckles finds all 3 of the keys, because he's one of the good ones, he stumbles into the Diddy chamber, where King Boom Boo is secretly waiting there, ready to spread that ass open and have him a good time. Knuckles, not fucking with that gay shit, decides he's not gonna be the one to get his ass dug in tonight. In fact, he's gonna be the one doing the digging. And I mean that literally. Knuckles is about to lay that massive pipe, because after running around for a bit, going from the back and just absolutely drilling him, Knuckles finally defeats him after laying that good pipe. This leads the rest of the crew to join Knuckles in the Diddy chamber, but not before Eggman decides to make his presence known. He knew some freak shit was happening in here, and he's mad that he didn't get invited. But because he didn't get invited to the freak off, he decided he's gonna kill them all with his stone golem. And I gotta say, Eggman, it feels kinda like you're compensating for something. So after the big stone golem is defeated, the crew finally make it to the spaceship and get to blast off towards the Ark. But not before Knuckles, no license having ass, decides that he's gonna crash that ship. So Sonic, Amy, and Tails all discuss their game plan as to what they're gonna do about the Ark. They don't have much time left before that shit blows the Earth sky high. And that's when Tails decides to show off his fake VVS. Come on Tails, we all know that shit's fake. But he tells Amy and Sonic that this Chaos Emerald may be fake, but it has the same properties and wavelengths of a real one. He devises a plan that if they can get to the main controls in the main room of the Ark and place this with the other emeralds, it could override the systems and possibly stop the cannon from firing. Now with not many other options, that's the only plan they have, so they decide to take it. This leads Tails to the main control center to destroy the cannon's defenses. And just as it's happening, Sonic is about to place the final emerald within the altar. But before he can do that, Eggman interrupts their conversation and tells him that Amy is held hostage. And if Sonic doesn't decide to show up, he's gonna kill Amy. So Sonic, not wanting his favorite eater to kick the bucket, he decides he's gotta go save her. This takes us to Crazy Gadget, and all I gotta say is I fucking hate Crazy Gadget. I don't want to play this level ever again. But after finally making to the main room of the Ark, he finds Amy, Tails, and Eggman all in the same room. But just before Sonic is about to give up the emerald, he remembers that he still has that fake one on him. So he believes if he were able to pass off that fake one as the real one, then he can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He gives Tails the look that tells him that it's gonna be a-okay, or so they thought. But what they didn't know is that Eggman actually knew this. He's not stupid, and he can tell that shit was fake. This leads Eggman to put Sonic in a pod, and just like Jimmy Neutron, he's about to give him a brain blast as he sends him off into space. Now Tails, being disheartened and believing his best friend is dead, he begins to slime Eggman out. But what neither of these 2 cucks know is that Sonic actually is about to use the Chaos Emerald for chaos control, which is honestly impressive, being able to use a fake shit to do the real shit. But miraculously, it actually works. This leads Sonic to then appear right in front of Knuckles like his name is fucking Shazam. Knuckles, being fried as shit, has no idea what the fuck is going on. The only thing he's understanding is incoherent ramblings from Sonic. Also, I forgot to mention at this time, Knuckles had just gotten all the Master Emerald pieces back from Rouge. All I gotta say is, Knuckles, please let me have it. And Sonic asks Knuckles to go handle his light work with Eggman and Tails, because he's got a game plan and he needs to put that shit in action. Rushes off to the cannon to go put the emerald in it directly and hopefully blow the entire thing up, or at least stop it. And after some many tries and fails, Sonic finally gets to the cannon, only to be confronted by Shadow. And after the two duke it out and have a little bit of gay sex, Sonic is able to place the fake Chaos Emerald directly in the cannon, and the day is saved by our hero, Sonic the Hedgehog. That was a long one. Now, what do I exactly think of all this? I think it was pretty cool, and I think it was a pretty peak story. But now we get into the dark story. Oh my god, how long is this video already? Fuck! God damn! Now, after covering the hero story, we get into the dark story, and I'm looking at this script right now, and holy fucking shit, this might be one of my longest videos yet. You know, I think getting my cock and balls smashed with a rock would probably be more fun than gonna be editing this video. So, the dark story starts off with Eggman invading Eggate, which is like Eggman's version of Tales of Prison Lane, if that wasn't obvious. And we see Eggman just fuck up everything! And we're also left wondering why he exactly is here at this military base, because we don't exactly know yet. But we do know now, he's here to retrieve something his grandfather left behind for, I don't know specifically him, but it's something his grandfather left behind and he's coming here for because he has his research notes. Something called Project Shadow, and Eggman, being the curious little bastard he is coming to find out what that project is. So, and Gun is currently in the possession of Project Shadow, and instead of asking nicely for it, or, you know, coming with some hospitality or trying to be a reasonable neighbor to these people, he decides to take the route of, you know, absolute fucking carnage! Everybody dying! And after finally reaching the terminal where his grandfather's secrets have been hidden for all these years, he types in the password, M-A-R-I-A. You know, it's real weird, I didn't take Gerald for being a Mario fan. Now, if you don't know anything about this game, then why the fuck are you watching? We're like, what, 20 minutes in this video and you don't know shit about this game? But anyway, if you're wondering, or if you're a dumb fuck, you're probably wondering what the significance of that password. Well, I won't spoil it for you yet, silly. But we'll find out eventually. Now, after he types the password, it is revealed to be Shadow hidden in cryostasis, which at first Eggman confuses for Sonic, only to realize that it's not him. And as a way of thanking the good doctor, Shadow agrees to grant him one wish. So I guess apparently Shadow's a genie now, making fucking wishes. Eggman is slowly realizing that this must be the ultimate project his grandfather left behind. Shadow then decides to take care of the gun soldiers coming in to apprehend them. If you notice, it's kind of just a copy of Sonic's Bigfoot boss fight, only like slightly different. After Shadow takes care of the gun soldiers, Eggman asks if Shadow is the military's secret weapon. Now, Shadow, in so little of words, pretty much says yes. Eggman begins to question him about that wish promise he made earlier, and as a response, Shadow tells him to meet him aboard the Space Colony Ark with more Chaos Emerald. And now Eggman, pretty much, you know, not having any other choice, follows Shadow's orders. Yeah, you a good boy, little Eggman. You a good boy. You a good bitch. This then leads us back to Rouge and Knuckles from earlier in the video, but because I already covered that up, I'll skip. But one thing I won't skip: die, mommy, please! Oh, please! Please, in one shot! So after that, we're put into Rouge's first level, Dry Lagoon. Now, her levels and playstyle are pretty much identical to Knuckles, but she does get some unique upgrades of her own. And one other thing I gotta say is, god damn, the developers really went crazy with the jiggle physics. Like, holy shit, everything on this bitch jiggles. Ears jiggle, the tits jiggle, the ass jiggles, fuck, the ground jiggles. But hey, I'm not complaining. Now, after collecting all the shards, we catch up with Eggman as he is heading into his pyramid base, which is sort of similar to the one Tails did, except it's at night. So after reaching his base and destroying all of the gun robots surrounding it, Eggman finally makes it inside his little base in his little goon cave, his little hidey hole. He finally tries to see what's going on with the space colony, only to see a news broadcast of Shadow just being a YN like usual. Shadow's up here stealing the Chaos Emeralds from a Federal Reserve bank. Now, why are the emeralds just in a bank somewhere? I don't really know. Also, once again, the news mistakes Shadow for Sonic, and I'm just really over here thinking, are you fucking blind? I swear to God, I'm tired. It can't be no excuse anymore. It can't just be bad lighting or the fact that you people don't have a light on them. I'm just gonna accept it, you motherfuckers are blind! You motherfuckers need to get your goddamn eyes checked because I don't understand what the fucking problem is! That is not Sonic! That is Shadow! You fucking idiots and dumbasses! Are you fucking Now, as we see Shadow standing atop the Golden Gate Bridge, or the Radical Highway Bridge, you know, pretty much aura farming like his name is Piccolo. Shadow gotta be top 3 greatest aura farmers of all time, but as he's standing there, he ends up getting a flashback to him and Marie. Now, mind you, Shadow being asleep for over 50 years, his memories are a little bit foggy. Well, really, little bit foggy might be an understatement. More like blurry, dusty, covered in termites, and have been, you know, defecated on and covered in shit for the past 50 years. But there's only one thing he does kinda remember. Promising Maria revenge against, like, you know, the people of the earth and everybody that wronged her. This then leads us to Radical Highway, where Shadow leads a rampage against the military. And after Shadow reaches the end, we meet up with Rouge, and she's about to break into Eggman's base as she's a double agent for Gun, which leads us to have to find 3 keys in this chamber of death. It really is just Death Chamber, but with, like, Rouge instead of Knuckles. After that, Rouge makes it into Eggman's transporter. Now, Rouge makes it into Eggman's transporter room, and she sees that the transporter is set to the Space Colony Arc. But she does remember one thing, that the Space Colony Arc has been shut down for over 50 years. But her realizing that, she gains a little suspicion. So she transports herself to the... After that, this then leads us to Lost Ark, where Eggman has come to meet Shadow in the Central Control Room. I'm just gonna say it. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I don't really like these levels as much as the speed ones or treasure hunting ones. And is that mainly because I'm bad at them? Yeah. You know what you gonna do? Fuck me? Also because they're so fucking unfair, I can't stand it! So now that Eggman has made it to the control room, Shadow tells him about the Eclipse Can and how powerful it is. He also makes sure to mention that the Chaos Emeralds are needed to activate. It's at this time Rouge makes her presence known to the two. She ends up striking a deal with Eggman about getting the remaining emeralds. This leads the 3 to White Jungle, where Rouge says her intelligence says that the emeralds are somewhere here. Now Eggman devises a plan for all of them about getting past the military and planting a bomb to blow the place sky high after they got the remaining emeralds. Also mentions that they only have a 30-minute window to do so. This takes us to Weapons Bed with Eggman, where we have to do nothing but rush into the military and fuck a lot of shit up. And after said fucking of shit up, the gang meets up once more, and Eggman asks if everyone is ready before a certain pink hedgehog shows up thinking Shadow is Sonic. All I gotta say here is Amy is either dick hungry or blind, because I just gotta ask, how? Like, how did she, of all people, think this was Sonic? Like, you think Amy, the one person who is madly in love with the damn guy, would recognize him at a goddamn glance? I know this isn't even the last time she does this. She does it like 2 more times, except last time she does it, it's actually him, but she doesn't recognize him, and I swear to God, this bitch is either blind, or colorblind, or racist, or dick hungry. Now, after Eggman sends the 2 out to finish their mission, Eggman says he's gonna ice, and I'm just thinking about this like, god damn. Eggman has been quick in like this game to just start icing off people, and it's really fucking funny. Who shows up? It's Tails, of course. He shows up just in time to save her, and I guess because this is a kid's game, Amy can't be getting a hole in her cranium, blah 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 blah. Mind you, I don't hate Amy, but I could just say it would be funny as fuck to see that happen. You know how crazy it would be to be like, if like Tails failed this mission? Like, from Tails' perspective, he failed this mission, and like just see a cutscene of Eggman just fucking blowing a hole in Amy's head. Like, that'd be graphic as shit, but this is a kid's game, so I guess they can't really get too graphic. But I mean, they did kill a 12-year-old girl, so I guess they're not above killing people. Anyway, back to Captain Save-A-Ho over here. Tails says he won't get away with this, but we as Eggman on the other hand proceed to rock his shit faster than any African parent ever could. After that, this then takes us to security hall where Rouge has come to apprehend the remaining Chaos Emeralds. And to do this, we're only given 4 minutes, which I think personally isn't enough time, but hey, it might just be a skill issue. After successfully getting the emeralds, Rouge is met with one of the military's mechs and has to fight it. The boss isn't exactly too hard, it's just like the other 2 mech bosses you do with Sonic and Shadow. Except, I fucking lied! It's not entirely the same. You have to jump on these grates because, of course, Rouge can't do a homing attack like the other 2 spiny heroes. How she has to handle this is she has to climb on these grates, fly off, and then dive down WWE like her name is Roman Reigns, clock the robot in its shit. Now the best strat I found for me is just stay on these cages and grates until, you know, the mech is done shooting like a fucking lunatic, and then fly at him and attack him with your spin attack. The drill spin attack, not the homing attack. So I like how instead of using her hands to fight, she uses her legs, and I think that's a nice, it adds to her femininity and her charm. And it's cool because she must have some strong ass fucking legs. Also, put the lotion away. I know what you're thinking. And after that boss fight, Rouge contacts Shadow, alerting him to the fact that she is stuck in the vault. Now what I said earlier, but Rouge being stuck in the vault doesn't sound like a terrible idea. But pretty much she tells him that she's stuck in the vault with the emeralds and needs help. And Shadow listens to this, and this reminds him of Marie. Not wanting to let another innocent friend of his die, he goes to rescue. This leads us to Shadow's version of White Jungle, where he has 10 minutes to save Rouge and get off the island before it blows. Shadow's White Jungle is like kind of similar to Sonic's, but like a little bit different, kind of. And after Shadow makes it to the end of White Jungle, he is confronted by that blue bitch, Sonic. They have their usual line about who's bigger and who's girthier, who's longer, who's touches the floor. Because Shadow doesn't want to get his guts rearranged tonight, he promptly whoops Sonic's ass. Anyway, so after that, Shadow decides to go save Rouge with the power of chaos control. My only question is, why didn't he just do this when he first heard her call in? Which after saving Rouge, he takes them to the Ark. Rouge comments on how out of character it was for Shadow to save, but he says he was only saving the emeralds because they need them. We know he is lying out of the side of his neck. Now with all the other 6 chaos emeralds, Eggman wonders what they'll do about the last one. But Shadow says that 6 is enough to do a live demonstration and warn the people of the power they possess. Eggman does. He pisses on the moon, yada yada, the Earth's people are frightened, blah 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 blah, Barack Obama, Trump, some type of bullshit like that. But they do need the last emerald to make the Eclipse Cannon complete, so Shadow can destroy the Earth. Eggman asks Rouge about her deal to get him all the emeralds because she hasn't been putting up her end of the deal yet. And she decides to show him a news article about where to find the last emerald. It's about Tails won an emerald for saving Station Square from Eggman the last time he attacked. It is now Rouge's job to go hunt down the Fox Boy and hopefully steal the emerald off of him. This takes us to Route 280, where we find out that Rouge is a really bad driver. And finds Tails and tracks his location. Then takes us to Shadow's Sky Realm, where he proceeds to track down Tails, and after tracking him down, Shadow tells Eggman that they're heading for the Pyramid Base and asks what he should do about them. Eggman tells him to just let them come, cause he's got a surprise for all of them, and his surprise is his big fat egg. But the surprise in question is the egg golem, but after Sonic defeats it, it turns on Eggman, leading to him to have to fight off the golem, while Sonic and others escape like little bitches. We soon catch back up with Rouge on the Ark, who after finding out Sonic and his pals escaped, she asks him for the password to the computer. He gives it to her and she finds the password Maria to sound familiar. She looks through some documents and she finds that Shadow is the ultimate life form. And if I haven't made it clear, she's a double agent. Her job here is to find out if Shadow really is the ultimate life form that Gerald Robotnik was created. Finding this out, and with nothing else better to do, she goes helps herself to the last piece of the Master Emerald. She collects them all, and after, runs into Nuclei. So the spicy enchilada didn't like the fact that, you know, she's stealing all his shit. They begin a fight. So after kicking Knuckles' ass with the quickness, same cutscene plays out, and then we go back to Eggman and Shadow. See Eggman and Shadow wondering what's going on with Rouge. Eggman then notices 2 Chaos Emerald readings aboard the Ark. Even though last I counted there's only 7, not 8 of them bitches, there should only be 1, and Eggman with that high IQ knows that shit don't look right. This leads Eggman to believe that one of them is a fake. So Shadow offers to go deal with them, but Eggman says he'll confront them all instead. After getting into the main room, he finds Amy all by her lonesome, and he decides to hold her hostage, leading Sonic to have to come and save his little girlfriend. And after Sonic tries to give up the fake emerald, Eggman sends his ass into space. We've pretty much already done this before, so I don't really need to go over it. So after that, Tails gets pissed and, you know, the whole fighting. So after curb stomping the shit out of that little fox boy, Shadow then appears and confronts Rouge on being a double agent. And then she reveals the research notes about Project and asks who or what Shadow really is, and if he really is the ultimate life. He remarks that he is Shadow, the real Shadow. And Rouge then asks that even if his memories are the same, if he even remembers what he really remembers. She asks if he believes that his memories might be foggy. If he believes that that's who he really is, he responds pretty much absolutely. Before threatening her life if she tampers with the emeralds, Eggman then radios in to Shadow that someone is messing with the Eclipse Cannon. Shadow leaves to go see who or what it is that's trying to ruin their plan. This leads us to Shadow's final chase, which honestly I love the naming of this one because while Sonic is rushing to stop the cannon, Shadow is chasing him down to stop him, and I really think that's cool thematically. After finally catching up to the perpetrator, he sees it's none other than that fucking blue bastard again. Surprised to see he actually lived, Shadow commends Sonic for his bravery and resilience, but unfortunately he can't afford to let him live to ruin their plan. Begins the final boss of the Dark Stage, and after this we beat Sonic and presumably continue with the destruction of the world. Also, the background music for this is like pretty interesting. It's called Battle for True Story, which makes you wonder which story ending is canonical, like, or if both of these happen or how they happen. Does Sonic beat Shadow and stop the cannon? Does Shadow win and the world is doomed? With how these two end, it's very strange because it's almost like the final story kind of disregards both endings. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. Now, before I forget this is the most important part of the game. The Chao Garden. Chao Garden is where you can raise your chows, and here they're basically like virtual pets if you don't know anything about what a chow is. You can raise and customize and even take to school to learn things like dance, art, music, etc. Also, you can buy things in the black market like fruits, seeds, people, chow eggs, crack, body parts, livers, hearts, organs, pretty much everything else you'll need because you'll probably need it for our next activity. The Chao games, baby! Now, what are the Chao games? Pretty much here you can take your Chao and make them race, even fight each other. Now, you may be asking, how do we train or get our chows ready for this type of activity? There's no way these little things, little baby man, people, things, pets, animals, can fight and race each other. How do you do it? And I'll tell you how you do it. I'll tell you how it's done. At the level, enemies you destroy tend to drop these colorful glow sticks called Chaos Drives. The Chaos Drives are drives that contain things like speed, power, flight, swim, etc. Now, depending on which ones you want to give your chow, which stats you want to, fucking level up, you give them it. It's pretty simple. You know, if you want them to fly or to have better stamina or shit like that, you give them the corresponding color one. Also, you can even give them animals because you find animals throughout the stage too. And that also works in the same principle as the Chaos Drives. If you want to give them flight, give them a bird. If you want to give them swim, give them like a sea animal. Also, these things will change how your chow looks. So if you don't want your chow to look butt-fuck ugly, be careful what you give it. Also, one other thing, depending on what your character's alignment is that you take in here to the Chao Garden, it will determine how your chow will turn out, pretty much. And if you max out whether a dark or light stat, you can unlock two things. You can unlock either the light garden, well, hero garden is what it's actually called, or you can unlock the dark garden, which is this evil looking place. Looks kind of like hell. There's a lot of heaven or hell, symbolism in this game. But it's funny, one of the Steam achievements for this game is called Heaven or Hell. Also, before I end this segment, here's my chows, and what should I name these little guys? See ya? Look at them, they're just fat. These fat fucks! All they do is sit around and eat! God, they're always so fucking hungry! Anyway, leave your names in the comments, and maybe I'll make a follow-up. Maybe I'll make some shorts about these chows, I don't know. Okay, back to the video. Oh god, as if this video wasn't already long enough, we've made it to the true story now. The true story begins with the Ark controls malfunctioning, and Eggman is wondering what the hell is happening until a message begins broadcasting to the Ark and all over the world. It is revealed that Gerald's ultimate plan is to send the Ark crashing into Earth as a last resort to carry out with his plans for revenge once the emeralds are all gathered. And as this is happening, Eggman enters the room with Sonic and Co. He's come to share his grandfather's research notes that go into more detail about what happened to him and his granddaughter Maria. Gerald also reveals that his plans for Shadow was to save the Earth and better humanity, but after what Gunn did to Maria, he was like, fuck all of that. He was so blinded by loss and grief that he installed memories into Shadow that would turn him into the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. After this, the group devised a plan to try and stop the Ark from hurling towards Earth and killing everybody on the planet and everybody in the Ark. They decide they're going to try overloading the Ark's core with the power of the Master Emerald to hopefully stop its trajectory. This leads us to Cannon's Core, one of the hardest motherfucking levels in the entire goddamn fucking game, where we pretty much play as the entire entire main cast trying to make it to the core and stop the end of the world. And I gotta say, it is very intense, very fucking frustrating, and it really makes you feel how urgent it is for the main cast to stop this. And I like the idea. I like the idea of like everybody coming together to stop a greater threat. I think it's a nice touch. So finally, after way too many fucking attempts, we finally make it to the cannon's core. But while this is happening, Amy is seen in the main room of the Ark and sees Shadow. Believing she needs to do something besides just fucking stand there, she goes up to Shadow and tries to convince him to help the others to stop the Ark. He dismisses her at first, but her words start to resonate with him on a deeper level, and it starts to unlock something in his memories. The words she is saying to him reminds him of the ones Maria asked him to promise her right before she passed all those years ago. And after finally gaining his true memories back, he rushes off to go fulfill the promise he made Maria, protecting the planet and all its people on it. This takes us back to Sonic and Knuckles, who are at the core and have noticed the core looks to be modeled after the Emerald Shrine on Angel Island. But before they can make it, they are stopped by this fat fucking fucking growth-turn BBL-sized ass lizard, who is the prototype ultimate life form, the Bio Lizard. But during this, Shadow arrives and decides that he's gonna take on the fat fuckity fuck, while Sonic and Knuckles handle the Emerald. Of course, we then fight the big oversized salamander, which involves us hitting its life support system by first grinding on its tubes and hitting the big yellow light coming out of its back. God damn, Shadow, I didn't know you like attacking the disabled. And after many tries, Shadow defeats the Bio Lizard. So then Knuckles and Sonic can safely make it up to the Emerald Shrine on the Ark. And as Knuckles calls upon the Master Emerald to stop the Chaos Emerald and neutralize them and stop the, end of the Earth, the Bio Lizard ends up using the Master Emerald instead, and Chaos controls itself to fuse with the Ark, well, the front of the ship. Which all I can say is this fat ass fuck sure is determined to cause the end of the world. Now, with no other way to stop it, Sonic and Shadow use the Chaos Emeralds and turn into Super Sonic and Super Shadow and speed off to the final battle. And I gotta say, even all these years later, I've seen this one cutscene, okay, for years, okay, even before I ever played Adventure 2, and I gotta say, it still gives me goosebumps watching it. Now, we go outside the Ark to fight the final hazard, this fat ass fuck's final form. And this consists of hitting the big pink fleshy things on its, body, and we also have to switch the hedgehogs after each hit to recharge their rings, and you also have to do the same if we can't hit them because we still have to change. Also, you're on a time limit of 4 minutes, and after only dying a few times, Shadow and Sonic push the Ark back into space, and right before this, Shadow releases an inhibitor rings and uses all of his energy to Chaos control the Ark back into space. This action drains Shadow of all of his energy, and he falls to Earth, satisfied with keeping Maria's promise to protect what she loved the most. And as Sonic returns to the Ark, he hands Rouge his ring, and they discuss who and what Shadow was, and how in the end he redeemed himself. Even Eggman questions if his grandfather really meant to destroy them all, and Tails, with his great wisdom as an 8-year-old boy, gives Eggman the best answer he knows how to muster up.
What? Did he really mean to destroy us?
I don't know, but what I do know is we all did it together!
So after this, the group finally leave back to Earth with the day saved, and Sonic says one last goodbye to Shadow. So, wow, that was a long one. I'm probably never going to make a video this long again, or maybe I will, depending on if this video does well. Now, what do I think about it all? What do I think about all of this now that it's over? And I gotta say, I love this game. Playing this game again really makes me appreciate this game and all it has to offer. This is really one of the best games to come from the Dreamcast era of games, and I can see why so many fans hold this game near and dear to their hearts. And honestly, to be as truthful as possible, I don't think there's ever going to be another game like this. But what do I know, I'm just a Sonic fan. So hey, if you disagree with my take that this game is good or whatever, or however this review goes, leave your take on this game or anything you think I missed or should have talked about in the comments section. I don't know, maybe leave a video suggestion, maybe, I don't know, call me a slur in the comments. So whether you agreed with me or disagreed with me, hey, leave it in the comments section. And so before I go, drop your favorite thing about this game and I'll share it in my next video. Okay, bye.